can do that because she.
Oh, it means mischievous, kind of.
Just
Okay.
like stubborn and yeah,
Difficult.
Kind of,
difficult.
yes.
Opinionated.
But in a playful way.
I wouldn't have respected her reaction to be anything else.
No. Nick is my FE pal, so I wouldn't want to hurt his feelings or anything, but I don't think I did hurt your feelings or anything.
Oh, no, I don't think you were either. I don't even know why I responded that way, but I think the way that, well, I guess it's not completely true because
You know what?
we already talked about
I
it.
appreciate it. I appreciate it because you did kind of help me snap out of a little bit of a bad mood. So
Really? You were in a bad mood before?
kind of. I don't know what it was.
I just kind
Saw
of,
that.
Huh?
Nothing.
yeah, I maybe that's what I was picking up on. I don't know. I just got this vibe and it
Did
was,
someone say makeup? Was it 'cause of Nick?
That was the
That was
trigger.
a joke, right?
She's getting judged for her makeup all the time now.
Somebody say makeup.
Hey, I
Yeah,
think
I think I also did a boo-boo the other day on that without meaning to.
here's the thing: ain't nobody in here ever saying to themselves, "No." When people look at Jewel on camera, immediately they say, "Wow, she's very pretty." Every single one of you
Thank
did.
you.
Every single one of you did.
That's because it's alarming. She looks like flawless. I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, give me
Like-
some lessons.
her makeup
I
is on fleek.
Makeup.
That's
Her
fucked
makeup
up.
is
What about
on
me?
fleek.
What about my makeup? Like nobody looks at me because his makeup is on fleek, bro.
Oh, Ace,
This is
darling.
this is what we call a
Ace,
dime.
darling, you are gorgeous.
I mean, you're doing it right.
Okay. We can change topics now.
Sorry if I was too late there.
Going back to what we were talking about, I think that was really cool the way we diplomatically handled that. That was just impressive. Like, honestly, I was like, wow, we didn't like blow up in each other's faces. Like, this is cool. I can actually be honest without somebody blowing up in my face. That's nice.
Do you know
It's not usually
When-
my style, so.
when Jewel has something to say, like when she's opinionated, it's in regards to her reaction to somebody blowing up.
Mhm.
Like Jewel's anti-blow up.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to what we were talking about makeup, like I said something to you, Ace. I was like, oh, darling, you are gorgeous. You look beautiful, girlfriend. Yeah. I notice this makeup every day. Wait. Yeah.
Cuggis.
I like that.
Cuggis. Play something, bruh.
Play the fucking
Again, I want
music.
you, Cuggis, I want you to interpret what's happening and make a visual representation of it. Go. Or you can say, fuck you, Nick. I don't take orders. Which I'll say.
Just
Right.
draw some poop. That will be sufficient. With some rainbows, I don't know, bursting out of it or something. This has been a very comical hour.
Yeah, at first it was like intense, and then like it just changed, and it was beautiful.
What do you find comical about
Yeah,
it?
let's hear.
Well-
Let's listen to She's interpretation. Of
Because I come in and Nick's talking to Chloe, they're having like a heart to heart, or there's just the moistness level is just, there needs to be a humidifier somewhere in the room. Like there just needs to be. And then he just slowly like Nick, I'm sorry, but you really get really carried away because you're just so passionate. You're like, I just want everything to be so great. It's just, like, let's just make a power hour. Let's just get everyone pumped up for life. And then the things you're saying about how you want to go after the woman that everyone wants to go after, it's like it made you sound like you followed that with the fact that you give yourself so many compliments, or you want to think really highly of yourself. It's like you have this like grandiose personality, but you want this cute little trinket to be with you. You want this cute little trinket
myself.
to wear around with you. Like, yeah, I got this cute little trinket too, which think about that. And then so I could totally understand, and maybe not for the reasons why Jewel was irritated, maybe.
But you got where I was coming from.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I also saw that you looked already agitated before you even said anything, and before,
I did.
Like, yeah. Well,
yeah, I
you
wasn't hiding.
kind of like.
I wasn't.
Just kind of looked a little like, I don't know, not in one of the best moods, I guess. And then like, Chloe just seems to be on cloud 9 today, which is super cool. Like, I don't know if that's an accurate interpretation, or of
I went on a knee spending spree. So like I went to Forever 21 and bought like a bunch of shit. So I'm happy.
Yeah. Don't let Nick fool you with his Enneagram 3 persona, because he is manipulative and he will admit that. So
see, like that talk right there just was like, oh, Nick has an emotional side. That's nice. He's nice.
Well, he is nice. He's nice.
Yeah.
He does have an emotional side, but there's
it's important
bullshit that comes up. It's gotta be like that part right there. Like all this stuff is good, but then there's just that like, okay, but that part, no. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and like I don't know. Like I mean, I guess I don't want to idealize the situation too much. It'd be like, oh, we had this hard time discussion. We're best friends now. And I get into trouble when I do that. So, shit.
But I think it's good. No, I mean, I think you guys did have a nice conversation. And I think Nick would agree it was a nice conversation. So I don't think you should feel...
No, but sometimes I over-idealize situations, so I need to be careful of that, That's all.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult. But okay, enough of that.
What do you think about the assessment, Nick?
I think
You think we're being too hard on you?
no.
I didn't mean to be that hard. It's just for the fact that, like, the reason why I said that is because Chloe was saying, like, from what I've seen, you don't really seem like you're narcissistic. So I was like, oh, man. But I don't know. Now I feel bad, but it's all out of love,
It's like a family.
A dysfunctional.
Janelle, if anybody is going to accurately judge me, or if anybody has enough, at least, I shouldn't say accurately, if anybody has enough stuff to go off of, it's you. So, okay. But I also think that the very phenomena I was talking about just happened.
What?
What phenomena?
Where I say I can't really talk about how I think about myself because of this happens, and then guess what? It happened.
I'm not saying you're necessarily a narcissist. I'm just saying that, like,
maybe I am.
You make that judgment off of.
I don't know what that means.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. And the thing too, like, I wasn't upset, like thinking, oh, it wasn't irritating me because I think, oh, Nick's a narcissist and he's this and this and that. It was just more about like being cognizant of.
And I've also
the way you represent like relationships and like women and like this stuff like that. It comes across as very like
chauvinistic. Well,
No, not even not necessarily that, but just I don't know. See, this is what I told Chloe. Like, I haven't processed it. I don't know. I'll process it and then I'll have something better to say.
I mean, I think that what I think that first of all, I'm feeling awfully good about myself past couple
And you
days,
should. I think that's good.
and I don't always feel that way. Sometimes I'll come in here and I'll talk about how fucked up I am. But I do think, in regards to how I talk about women, I do want to understand that better, like as far as what you're saying, because I think pretty highly of women, in that I understand that just like men seem to be being affected by fucking the internet, that so are they, and it's like a negative. Well, I think.
Well, I'm just no. Okay, here's what it is. I think you're like letting loose with it, so you were just like it was kind of like free flow thinking. It was kind of like what was just coming was being said and stuff like that.
That's all I do.
But right, and so there's just a lot going on there with like saying, like Janelle said, you want the woman that no one else can have, and talking about this kind of, and then you want a woman who like you appreciate her inherently who she is and all this, and she does the same for you. I don't know, all this stuff, and then you're like, but I don't know if I could even love a woman because I'm still in love with my ex-girlfriends, and then you talk about like self-sabotaging, and you talk about, and then you even mentioned like flirting with women in here, and I'm one of those women that you've like tried to flirt with in the past in here. So it's kind of like, okay, were you just messing with me? Like, then I knew nothing was ever going to happen, and I didn't take it seriously. But what I'm saying is, if you don't want to come across as being manipulative, then don't
I've only flirted with
act like you're playing games with people. Like, I don't know, you're just getting so many mixed messages about what you want,
Well,
what you're doing, I don't know. It was
I
just
agree.
confusing.
I agree, and that is very interesting because I guess context is important. A lot of times, I mean, I said that because people said that about me.
Mm-hmm.
You've said that about me. Every time I've given you a compliment or I've flirted with you, you say Nick does that with everybody though. It's like the thing is, I've flirted with you and I've flirted with Janelle. I think that's it. And I was serious about both of them, and one which I apologize to you for. And as far as the wanting a girl that's hard to get, I do want that. Janelle, you're beautiful and married, which is morally wrong of me, and you're top tier as far as I'm concerned, as far as how I judge women. You're smart. No, you got. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But and Janelle was like being hit up, like she was everyone in the MBTI community who was single had hit on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot stuff. She's cool.
I've just acknowledged that. Apparently, I like that, and then this girl. I took my aunt's husband out to eat. This is what made me think of this. The girl that I said that the waitress or whatever that I said I don't know if you were here. I don't know if I told you, but I hit on a couple like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I remember. I was there. Or you were talking about it.
Man, where the fuck is the outlet? Are you serious? She totally. I did the more of the trying to be somebody different type thing. Talking through the first go round. Besides the fact that I had my glasses and I wasn't very well dressed and stuff, and I was aware of that. But she She did not. She gave me her number, but she didn't respond. And getting her number was hard enough because, like she said, she gets asked that like every shift.
Yeah.
But today, we went back, and I didn't try and do any of that.
Hmm.
Where's it? And not only did the first my I'm gonna call him my uncle said, "Hey, dude, she's giving you the looks, man." He came up and talked to me multiple times, went our way, and then the bartender said, "Looks like you've got got a little way with Maggie. That's different." I was like, "Oh." So I guess, I was writing off that.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I just, but it's just weird. Like,
But it's never inauthentic.
no. Yeah, it's just, it's strange that, I don't know, because you express that you want something. So what's with the self-sabotage? So either you're holding your ex-girlfriends to such a high standard that you're not giving any current girls like a chance, like even like a fair shot, or are you saying you want to be in a relationship and you just really don't actually? So you're self-sabotaging, or like why? What's with the mixed?
I'm not doing the things I need to do in order to feel like, first of all, I'm in the right mindset, and I'm not actually, honestly, the whole Janelle thing really fucked me up.
Yeah.
After that, I'm like,
Just confidence-wise, or what? Or
no, it's like I don't want to go through this again.
oh.
This was frustrating. It's a lot of work for a lot of nothing. And willing to already committing to myself so much that it's like, and then seeing other people's relationship issues, it's like, and then it was a matter of like taking on too many things at once. There's nothing. I can only stretch myself to the same.
Is Ace laughing?
No, it's not him.
Oh.
Sorry.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that in time.
What?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
What'd you
It was a
do?
major operation on 1%. Went inside and put my cord through the window. I want to take back something I said too. I'm sure, of course, Chanel fucked with my confidence. Definitely. Absolutely.
How serious was it?
It was very serious.
Yeah. You were really, I know, you were really invested.
Like very invested.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like father roles and shit. Or father roles. Planning out how I'm gonna get this woman, how I'm gonna move, or how I'm gonna make enough money to, like, all of a sudden it was nice because I was driven to make an exorbitant amount of money, and I was ready to make shit happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like she knew enough. Like we spoke a lot, and that and for her to be like, for me to misjudge, for me to not expect that, like to not know that could happen, and then for me to wonder why I wasn't good enough or something with that much time invested.
Yeah.
Especially when I was willing to do, like, basically anything. I fucking basically love the girl. I
Yeah.
don't know what that means,
Mm-hmm.
but I was willing to do enough for her. I ought to have been at least on the right track to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about how her family would think about me. Like, she told her family about me. We drove 5 hours each, both of us, to meet each other.
No, I'm sure it was rough going through that, but
I don't know the impact it had.
I just,
I don't know. Like, what I'm super open to right now is a critical analysis based on these things. And so,
well, and I don't even know if it's as much the Janelle thing, because it seemed like, I mean, that happened, and I'm sure that did have an influence. But currently, it just really seems like you're very fixated on your ex-girlfriends. And it almost seems...
They're super...
Especially one that's married.
I know.
It's like, I mean, it's... I saw the raw footage of you talking to Lightbulb about it.
Oh, so...
And so I already kind of had like an idea of what, had happened, like when you were talking about it. And it's just I'm like trying to say sentiment. I can't say the word. Sentimentality? I don't know. You know what I'm saying. It's a good thing. And I'm an SI Dom. I live with it. But like, I feel like you're letting it take over in a kind of an unhealthy way right now, to be completely honest. No, maybe I'm off.
Yeah.
It's good. All those times are good, and the time invested in the relationship and the things these people went and brought into your life, all those things are valuable and have importance, but it's affecting your present. It's going to have an effect on your future. And it just seems, I don't know. I don't know. You don't want to let go of this, the one that was at the wedding, right?
What?
You don't want to let go of her. Like, you don't want to put it in the past for good.
Oh, for sure I do.
You do want to put it in the past
Oh, yeah.
for good?
I mean, this woman played a major role in my life.
Yeah.
And it's not even that I've, like, honestly, it's not an attraction thing. It's not like I want to have sex with her thing. It's not I want to be with her thing. It's like going so long without seeing her.
Mm-hmm. It just brought back a lot of all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And I'm glad I feel that way because I think I'd have to be emotionless.
Right.
I
But when
don't-
you're saying like you don't know if you even have love to give some new female because you're still in love with your exes, that doesn't sound
Oh yeah, I don't. That was ridiculous.
okay. Just
That was ridiculous.
all right.
That's insane. I say stupid shit all the time, like
I
that.
know you do.
That was super stupid. Super ridiculous.
That's funny. So you're good then. Okay. I was just hearing you say stuff that I was like, if this is the case, then that's like not good. But if it's
don't
like
know.
you were just
By your standards, or what does good mean? I don't know that I'll ever be good.
I mean, you'll function in a way that you will be able to have a relationship if that's what you want. I guess. Yeah.
What kind of relationship? Again, this is when the girl is important because
Well,
most kind of relationships I would never function in.
the problem, okay, so here's the problems. You say you get bored in relationships, which I think that would happen unless you figure out what that is with you. That's going to happen with any girl because if you're depending on some woman to be
It's not that I'm like I'm bored with them. It's that I'm not putting the same level of effort as I once was into it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not my focus.
Normal too.
It's not my super focus. Like all of a sudden I get more focused on work or something.
Yeah, that's normal. Okay.
The movies, it's not.
Bro,
I
relationship
know.
ain't
But
a movie.
movies are magical. I love movies. But
Yeah, I wish all relationships were like the movies.
I still think they can be. So
In certain ways, my man, but not. You ain't gonna be in the honeymoon phase forever.
It's scientifically proven you won't be. I'm so sorry. Unless you're like the anomaly. You can be the scientific anomaly. You can, yeah.
love exists.
Trust me, I got the lowdown from. I used to go to boarding school. One of the house parents there told me that he met his wife on a Friday. He proposed on a Monday. They got married that Monday.
What?
Yes, and they've been together for 53 years. He was like
Wow.
70-something years old.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I've had enough examples of
That's
like
crazy.
I've had enough examples I've seen enough examples of people who are like intensely in love for long periods of time.
Really?
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
well, here's the big catch, my man. They were not in love. That's what he said. He said they had to make it work. He said sometimes I fucking hated her, literally. in the first place. He said,
That's not
sometimes
a catch,
I
Ace. That's just part of
fucking
that's not a catch. That's just one of the things they did differently that other people aren't doing. That's insight.
bro. If most marriages do not hate each other at some point, I would be
I was
shocked.
gonna say I don't know any long-term
Did I
relationship
say that?
that's been.
It's what
Did I
you
say-
implied.
Did I say
That's
that? Did I say that? Like, first of all, in the movies, there's always
Some
It's-
conflict or something.
yeah. And second of all, people give up early, and they also, I think, from my experience, people settle easily.
Typically.
Which is why we should all look up to she, because she said, "Fuck this Nick guy, he's crazy." I'm not settling.
I just realized though that you and Eric kind of talk in the same way. Like you and Eric have like the same ENTP pattern of speech. So that's interesting.
Why are you self-sabotaging now, though? Like with that INFJ girl, and then
Oh my god.
why are you doing that?
Does it come with that? Does it come with that?
Shut up!
I think not so much self-sabotage as a way to. It's a vetting thing, and that's not a very good example. But I'm always going to be testing someone's.
So
shit.
okay, so
This is not a good example with her in particular. I think it was a combination of having too much on my mind, trying to do way too many things at once, being in the middle of a marriage crisis involving family,
right.
having, and quite frankly, 80% of the time I have been texting her, I was on way too much Adderall and hadn't slept in at least 24 hours.
Yeah.
But do you think maybe there was the possibility that you committed too much too soon? Emotionally.
What?
That you committed too much emotionally too soon.
Sure. I think anything's possible.
I think that's just Nick. I mean, not to be. I think like whoever it is you end up with, you're going to at least initially give the appearance of falling for them very quickly, even if that's not necessarily the case.
I mean, how I used to do it was I would when I'm in a good mind frame, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've been there in a while.
Mm. So what are you testing these girls for? Why are you making them?
That might be an excuse. I don't know. I have it. I mean, it's when you say, Nick, why are you sabotaging?
Yeah.
The most honest answer is I don't know.
Oh.
So, I mean, dating is a lot of time, effort, and energy that I really have not committed. I can't commit that right now.
Right. You're busy. You've got a lot on your plate.
And
You're in a situation right now that's kind of, well, I mean, you said you had a nice talk and everything, so maybe that's kind of getting settled. But
I mean, we talked today.
huh?
She texted me today.
Who?
The INFJ girl.
Oh, she did. What did she say?
Wait, is this the girl from the party?
Did she text you and did she say, was that you driving by my house 3 times last night?
Looks like your furniture looks really good from the yard. No, I'm just kidding. Plain.
No, but so basically you miss companionship and yet you know you're not at a place to really like put your all into a relationship right now. Maybe?
And I'm a little apathetic.
Oh.
I'm a little cynical. I mean, I know that I'm not going to be an ideal candidate for a lot of women. But most women. And
Because of them or because of you? Just
Both.
differences in personality?
yeah, both. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
more so.
there's nothing wrong with that.
More so.
Yeah,
There's not at all. More so me than them because I'm my behavior strikes people as very different. I'm very intense.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
And there's those. I love all of it about me, and I have to because I don't know that I can change it. I don't know that I want to. That's a lot of effort.
No, yeah.
No, man, you should
Listen,
want to.
I give you, and like the thing is, I might give you a hard time and like call you out on stuff or do stuff, but at the end of the day, I think you're a good guy, and so I think you'll be able to. Obviously, I think you'll end up with someone great and be able to find that relationship. But I was just curious, like what was going on.
That's nice of you. But I think if you had to live with me for a week, you'd be like, get me away from this guy. Actually, maybe it's in stages. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like,
Well, listen, here's the deal. I honestly didn't think things were going to work out with Eric and this Kimberly. I was like, what?
Chewy, you hater!
Oh, I thought, what the heck is Eric doing? He's going to blow everything up. This is ridiculous. He's acting like a total asshat or whatever. And
What
then,
a
like,
hater.
they end up together. So I'm like, if that can work out, Nick, you can.
if I'm going for the 2 week or the 2 month or even the 2 year mark,
Then you'll do that.
I can go out there and I'd be railing them in. That's not what I'm going for though.
No, I didn't say that's what you're going for.
Well,
I just meant, like,
it was a fun example, but I don't want to speak on that. But let's just say,
yeah, right, yeah. It's
let's
already
talk in
going.
either 3 weeks or 3 months.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come in at 3 weeks or 3 months.
Number 3.
It'll.
Relationships are complicated. That's why they're the focus of like so much, you know.
Well, I think that I might. First of all, I whine a lot. My tone is whiny, but I'm like I wouldn't have it any other way because I've learned so much from every relationship or almost relationship that and those are all like there's nothing I take more seriously than that stuff. I'm all about figuring things out, and I know that it's not I don't place like I'm not into the whole blame game for that like with that stuff. I used to be, but I've learned so much about what I want and what people have to put up with from me, and what I'm willing to put up with, and what a long term like what it takes to develop something long term, and what about not that I wouldn't expect anything other than having like I with all this I know that it's going to be a lot of work with the whole dating thing.
Yeah.
And because of that, like with all this other stuff going on, it's like it's not it's going to take a while.
Yeah. Ace. How did you know? Was there some like defining moment, or what made you realize you wanted to be with your fiance, like long term, to be married?
I wanted my family to be a family forever.
Yeah.
There was no magical moment.
Right.
Super special Disneyness. No, that doesn't exist. People talk about it. Doesn't exist. It's not actually real. Love is a choice.
Yeah, love is a choice. I would agree to that.
Not a feeling. It's not a rush of emotions. It's not a fucking sudden surge of Oxycontin in your brain that tells you that, ooh, you really love this. But no, it's a choice.
Why can't it be both?
It can be both.
Oxytocin for women and vasopressin for men. It's not Oxycontin. That's
whatever, man. You get my fucking point.
That's an opiate.
Okay, fine. Split fucking hairs for me. You get my goddamn point.
I would want to be corrected. I assume.
Good for you!
I'm just saying, like, that might be something you say again, and men's love hormone trigger is vasopressin for women.
What is it? Vasopressin? V?
Yeah.
Vasopressin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, actually, I actually do appreciate that. Never mind.
I made my aunt doctor stop prescribing this stupid compounding pharmacy oxytocin with Cialis because of how silly that is. Because men need vasopressin, not
That's
oxytocin.
depressing. Okay. Yes. Basically, what I'm saying is that when you decide that you love somebody and you want to be with them forever, it is not a decision of, in this moment, of vasopressin / oxytocin. It's a decision of choice. I'm choosing to be with this person forever. And trust me when I say this, because I'm with an ISTJ. And that's rough for an ENTP. As any ENTP will tell you, that is rough. That's not the ideal choice / our preference. Like if we could choose any particular type, it's definitely not what we would just choose. We've made it work. And a lot of it was through sheer gut and choice. We wanted a family. It was very important to both of us that our daughter had her mother and her father in her life as her mother and her father and together. Yeah, it's my baby mama. It's a big deal. And we would both tell you.
Yeah. Children, I mean, that's a big factor, obviously.
And so, yes, part of that was definitely our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But we would both tell you that if it came down to simply is our daughter the literal only reason that we're together, we would both tell you no.
Yeah.
The reason that we have given it a double special effort at times, yes. But is it the only string connecting us? No.
Yeah.
And so in terms of Nick choosing a partner, I would tell you choose carefully because your partner will be the mother of your children more than likely. And to be patient. It's much better to wait years and years finding the right one, not capital O1, just the right one, than to give in to loneliness
Hey guys,
and choose the wrong one.
that informs my decision making a lot.
Trust me, I've been lonely. It sucks. It's such a dick. It's awful. But even looking back, I'd much rather wait and make sure I made the right choice than giving.
Here's what I don't
feeling.
mind. I don't mind you giving me advice. I will never mind that. Or I will never mind that. But when you don't listen to everything I was saying that basically says what you just said, except more deeply, but the whole reason that there's anything to give me advice on coincides with the very advice you just gave me, I have to mention something about it.
Well, go for it, man. I wasn't.
Well, I have to mention.
What? I mean, take
I was
what's
thinking
valid.
But
I mean-
here's the thing. Here's one thing that I want to explain to anybody that's listening to me that heard me attack Ace's non-listening. He's playing a video game at the same time.
Correct.
And one thing that I've consistently ringed people on is that they don't fucking listen to people.
Hey, I was asked.
People give me. I didn't ask.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never asked you for advice. You've given a lot of it, and a lot of it, I have to tell you, is appreciated. And I think you probably give really good advice. I just haven't heard any because you've told me like things that I figured out in middle school.
Sure, man. But Jewel asked
And
me. That's the only reason I.
It's
the
annoying
only
that I
reason-
like you, but I like you. But it makes I'm blaming you on video games. But other than that, it's I guess I get offended or something. I don't normally get offended,
Nick,
but
buddy. Nick, can I talk to you for a second?
advice is like that I never touched a woman before and that I'm not capable. And
No. Nick, can I talk to you for a second? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2
Yeah.
seconds.
hold on.
Okay.
By the way, when I say that I also appreciate it, this is the weird thing about it. I'm super serious about that. So it's probably an ego thing. Like I'm probably you've probably helped me more than I could possibly imagine by giving me advice, not by what you said, but my reaction and me looking at it like, what's this on the table here? Nick, is this shit that you just put on the table? So probably your bad advice probably gave me more wisdom than neither of us know.
All right,
Oh my God.
Nick, buddy, for real, 2 seconds. Listening.
I do that. I do listen.
Okay. I was barely listening because you were correct. I was playing a video game. Second thought. I didn't just jump into this conversation. Jewel invited me into the conversation to give my advice. So if my advice was bad / uninformed,
She didn't. She asked you. She
Yes.
asked you about your decision and she asked you about your relationship. Not, hey Ace, could you give Nick some advice?
yes, Nick. That's what I'm saying. I didn't just jump in and go, "Here's my
That's
unsolicited."
not jumping in. That's the very definition of jumping in. That's what's
Okay.
crazy.
Fair enough, but normally I don't.
You just said I jumped in giving you advice from a conversation I was having with Jewel, but I didn't jump in.
I mean,
I think what you guys need to do right now is just take a page from the book of Chloe and I, and how we handled our situation earlier.
Well, I think I'm being nice to Ace. And
You're being nice. You're also being a little bit of a butthead. You're being both. Let's be honest.
Well, I am, but I don't think I'm wrong either.
I mean, what I'm trying to tell you, Nick, is that I don't think you're incompetent. I don't think you're incapable of any of that. I respect you. I respect your capability, so to speak. Like, nothing to do with it. The only reason I weighed in is because you'll ask me to weigh in. I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't think you needed it. None of that. That's all I'm saying, man. Nothing to do with you, really. You'll just ask me how I got with my fucking fiance. That's it. For real. Nothing to do with you, man. For real. Promise. It was nothing about that. Promise. Swear to God. Up and down.
Oh. So did I solve all your problems tonight, Nick?
As always. Here's I hate that I've hit on you so much because what I view you as is the perfect friend who happens to be really, really attractive. You're the perfect, a good friend is somebody who you're very grounding.
Thank you.
No, I'm not. No.
I feel like
No.
we've developed a friendship too. And I think honestly that's also kind of put me in a bad mood earlier. I think it was my FI feeling like you came in kind of like, oh, like I come in this place and I don't know, you were kind of like having, which I totally understood. Like I said, I felt like there's times I need a break from this place too. But some of the things you were saying about it, I was kind of like, oh, but we're friends in this place. And so
I was not talking about you. I was not talking about you. If I was a girl and it was allowed, I would call you 3 times a day, probably.
Yeah.
Not about you. We are in a group. It is not Nick and Joel talking.
Yeah.
I want you to know that because I have seriously learned a lot from you, and I appreciate it. And I hate that all this shit is compliments. I don't want you to say thank you. It's just really what it is.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's one of those like it's a good friendship, but at the same time, I understand like there's because it's a guy girl. It would be much easier if we were both guys or both girls to have like a cool friendship. You know, I understand the limitations of it for sure. But,
I know that I don't understand the limitations, so I got to be super looking to you.
yeah.
Is that you? Smoke weed every day.
That's my problem. Whoever did that, I have not smoked enough weed lately. You catch me blazed.
Does it calm you down?
Yeah. You've enjoyed me the most when I've been high.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely.
Like when? Can you remember?
Not a particular instance, no.
Oh.
It's just I make notes of people's not even just with me, like I try and note people's emotional state based on what's happening in the environment.
I
And
see.
I definitely think more about what I say, and I'm much more much less neurotic, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm my biggest critic when I smoke, which is kind of why I like it.
So,
Like,
like you said, the more reflective, like introspective, or whatever.
well, I don't know if this is a good way to explain it. I will never smoke and sell things. I will never do my sales thing while high
Yeah.
because I do dip into that. I don't know what that is, but
You know what it is? This crossed my mind earlier. It doesn't have anything to do with the weed thing. It's more about to do like with what? Are you talking about how other people see you and stuff like that? But a lot of times when you talk about relationships and things like that, you have a way of breaking down interactions in a very like precise way. So like if I say this thing, this person, I can get this reaction out of this person, or I know by the way they respond this way that my next move would be this, and then I can get them to like feel like this. And it's like you express that, which is I think a lot of people do that just kind of instinctually, but by verbalizing it the way you do, it makes people feel like they're too easy to manipulate. It makes the other people feel gullible or something. And I think so then they react in a negative way toward you when it's like we all do it, but to kind of say, to kind of express that makes people feel like, oh, am I just a pawn? Like he could just read me. And it's like it can kind of bring out a negative response in the other person. Like it puts the other person in a very vulnerable position to feel that exposed to that they could be so easily influenced. Does that make sense?
that's it.
How are you? Oh, okay.
That's a very interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
Would you all agree that people are selfish and inherently selfish? Really, first and foremost, it's about the self.
Yeah.
Well, and we all want to get what we want, right?
Sure.
Well, I think if I wasn't open about that, it's either I make a very, very strict policy of honesty as a means of checks and balances, or I don't discuss
Yeah.
these things that I observe, and all of a sudden I'm not checked, and that's when manipulation can really happen. Because here's the
Right.
thing: when anybody calls me manipulative,
Uh-huh.
A really good manipulative person isn't called manipulative.
Well, and I wasn't saying it as like
But- No,
I wasn't saying it in a way for you to change your behavior. I wasn't bringing it up for that reason. I was bringing it up more for like understanding why it brings about a negative response from other people. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I know that. And I
Oh,
know
okay.
that. But here is what I want to ask you. So what
Uh-huh.
should I do? Should I
Hmm.
not bring it up, and all of a sudden, should I be more secretive about? I mean, when I say that I used to be very good at manipulating people, I was the
Mhm.
fucking best. I thoroughly believe that. I'm very good, and I did do it in selfish ways.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm very good anymore.
But
I
how
don't
does
think
a
I'm- I think
person
I'm
know?
natural.
So like let's say
Because-
okay, so like I'm interacting with you right now, obviously, and we're having a conversation. So what position does that leave me in as far as like let's say what if I think, well, is he manipulating me? Would he manipulate me? Like what response am I giving that he can turn around to like do this? Like so it's like yes, you want to be honest, and it is like your question, I guess that I would say I don't even have an answer for it because it creates kind of a weird conundrum where it's like yes, you should be honest, but then also the other person, it's like what do they then believe or not believe? I don't know.
That's my quandary.
Yeah.
It's people like to think that they can't be manipulated, even though
Uh-huh.
we all attempt it. We all attempt it. To me, all manipulation is it means a million different things. Everybody does it. It's just some people are actually better at it than others. It's you are trying to get what you want to get through to the other person, you want to get through to them. You have to manipulate their understanding of what you're saying so that it's honest to what you mean, for example. You can manipulate in a lot of different ways. But it's one of those like uncomfortable truths that people are like, and we're getting in a habit of it. We're getting in a habit of it, but when somebody admits to doing it, it's like, but if you ever post something on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
you are managing perception. If you ever go to a party
Well,
and
listen, I mean, yeah, I have Effie in my second slot, so I get it. And like, I even watched this video once. It was, what's the guy? Type Tips, or I don't know, something like that, talking about how people use their second function as a tool, right? Like they wield it a little more than like where your first one just being your dominant is just your natural, right? So, and they're talking about ISFJs having, or any type that has FE in the second slot being manipulative because they're gauging people's emotional responses and they're trying to like influence that and affect it like with their own and stuff. So it's, I mean, I understand it because I do it. I know I do that at least, but I don't see myself as like a manipulative person because it's usually actually for like a positive. I usually try and do it in positive ways, you know what I mean? But it's, yes, people use their influence on other people, but
well, and I've
I don't
come
know.
to
It's different.
I've come to understand that I can have a particularly unhealthy ego,
Yeah.
and it's also one of the ways in which like I let everybody know that. And then even though I'll then like respond, like take a stance against somebody trying to tell me that, but
Yeah.
it's like Janelle keeps coming in here like they're still talking about Nick. Oh,
Uh,
I would love to know what her experience with talking to me was like. That's interesting.
yeah. Has she ever like kind of expressed that to you?
She
Like, has
said,
there ever been like a whole rap, like a,
kinda. She said on the way driving to meet me, she realized that she was still in love with this other guy.
oh, someone she had dated before you?
And I sensed that something was different.
Yeah.
She wasn't. I was. It's really difficult when you develop something like